to this computer. All right. You guys pumped that you're here on a Wednesday night. Before we kick this off, I have some just actually more applicable stuff tonight that we're going to go over. Usually we're going over some deeper other things, but I have some applicable things I want to share tonight. But first off, I want to hit a couple wins that we have for the week. And actually, since Victor's here tonight, I want to start with you. What's your biggest win of the week so far, man?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, like I felt like I started off with a very when I first started the program, like my life was much simpler then, and in a very small pace. But I just to make a long story short, I just want to say that this morning I woke up early, took my dogs out, and I felt like I'm already up, so I'm just might as well just don't get it in. So like I
Awesome.
felt like today I I knocked out that workout early in the morning just because yeah.
Great. I love it. That's a huge win, especially as you
Yeah.
get back into that momentum that you mentioned earlier too. So that's huge. And then Jordan, you're back from hunting season, guiding. What's a big win for you this week, man?
Just being back home with my family.
Mm,
That's the best
absolutely.
part. It's been a while, so
Back with the kiddos and up and rocking. So
yeah.
awesome. Glad you're back. I'm glad you're back. I always miss we communicate so much in the app that the weeks you were gone, I missed you. So
Yeah.
glad you're here. Let's
Bad
get
service most of the time, so
yeah, absolutely. Let's get one more win. Anybody else have a win they want to share tonight that they want to pop in and share it? Feel free. Or I'll start calling out some names. Katie, give us a
Uh,
win. Or somebody was speaking up. Who was speaking up?
yeah, this is Lamar.
Yeah.
Uh, it has to do with today. Um, I didn't feel like going to the gym, but when I actually got there, it was probably the best workout I had on the routine that you gave me. Everything went smoothly, and it was good to go. But I was dragging my ass at work today, and I just didn't feel like going. So that's my big win. When you don't feel like going, sometimes it's the best workout.
Awesome.
Mm.
It always happens that way. I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing. I called on Katie too, so now you thought of something. So now I'm going to ask Katie to talk too. Thank you for sharing, Lamar. That's so good. That's a lesson for all of us right there.
Um, well, I finally started working the body that serves the Lord. So,
Cool. That was the thing a couple weeks ago. Katie had a dream a couple weeks ago, and I was in it. And she told me she's like, "Hey, I'm ready to start working out again." And I was like, "Well, hey, I'll bother you one way or the other if it's in your dreams or in reality. Let's start working out."
like I literally told you in my dream that I was I can't well, you know what I texted you or whatever, and I was
Yeah,
like, okay, it's time.
I love it. That's so cool. I got such a good kick out of that. It made my day. So, all right, you guys, I love it. If I obviously I still want you thinking about your wins for the week because there is that gratitude piece of sometimes even when we have the rough days of going back to finding those things that really help us change our perspective. And so I want us to keep thinking that way. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to share some stuff that I've been working on this week with you guys. All right, all right, all right. Okay, so I'll tell you guys a little story and we will get this party started. Okay, I'm going to pull the screen so I can see you guys a little bit over here. Okay, so last weekend I went out just like a mini adventure, went hunting in one of my favorite spots, and it was actually more like hiking with my bow. That's what I call it when I when I don't get anything. So I was hiking with my bow for several days and really enjoying some time out in the field. And really it was like I knew I needed it, but I didn't know I needed it to the level I did. And I'm sure you guys have those same times where like same as Lamar this morning, like went and didn't know I needed it that bad and it turned out that good. And I got back from that trip and I was like, dude, needed that desperately, needed the reset. And I really sat with myself when I got home Sunday and then Monday on some of the things the feelings that I felt up on that side hill. And this specific hill that I sit on when I hunt, it faces the east. And so I always get to watch the sun up. It's super magical. And I've sat up there for like 8 to 10 years now. I've hunted that spot, and it's one of my favorite spots in the world. And so I do have this like time to think, and I got back and I'm like, man, there's some stuff that I felt up there at this time, and I'm like, one of those things was like this feeling of guilt because I'm like, I wasn't working, I wasn't messaging you guys. It was that piece of like, oh, maybe I'm more attached to my business and rely on that to sometimes not feel what I'm supposed to be feeling to personally develop. Right. So those were things that I was going through. And so when I got home this week, I'm like, okay, we need to make sure that we're leaning into that to continue to learn, to continue to develop and progress. And so I developed this, and this is obviously centered around some of my things, my feelings, but I want to share it with you as an example of some things that obviously what we've already been talking about, because I'm using the same frame of the last several months of the subjects we've been talking about, but things that you guys can take with you and apply in your own way as well in your own life. And so I'm gonna make like something out of this to share in the group as well that you guys can take and actually like use as a sample to like write on or at least brainstorm into your own journals. Okay. So I made 4 pillars, so really short here, guys, 4 slides. Um, but I made 4 pillars. And one of the things is we have talked about grace a little bit here in the last couple months. And grace without lowering our standards. Because we can get in that mode where it's like, okay, I'm giving myself grace, but then we're lying to ourselves. Like we have to be real with ourselves of like, okay, am I giving myself grace on this, or am I just not taking action because I'm being lazy? And so that's where only you can answer that for yourself,
Mm.
being honest with yourself. So daily micro practices, I kind of broke this down into a daily thing for myself and then a weekly reflection that I'm going to do on like Sundays. And so daily micro practices for me, 5 minute grace check, middle of the day. I ask, am I driving from a place of peace right now or pressure right now? And that's a place where a lot of times like my actions will come off of pressure, which is at the end of the day, like me future tripping about I'm worrying about something. Like, oh, am I doing enough content? Am I, sending enough messages that you guys are getting results? And it's like, and those are obviously realities because as a business owner, I have to address things, but they often won't get the result they actually need if my my push into that is pressure versus peace. And it's just something I've noticed and I need to like reset on that. So, and then the end of the day kind of reset, take a second, Jordan, write a sentence of gratitude to myself, not the outcome of what I achieved that day or didn't achieve or hope to achieve, but something like an example I just put, I showed up when I didn't want to. So I'm grateful, man, that that I showed up today, even though I didn't want to, or I went and worked out even though I didn't want to. Those type of prompts for ourselves, okay? And then the weekly reflection prompt I'm going to be doing is, where did I extend grace that kept me moving forward? And so in your own life, think about an example here. Like, where did I extend grace to myself that kept me moving forward? And that might be in the past, you might be beating yourself up about, man, like I've missed 3 workouts in a row, like 3 days in a row. And you can look at that and you can be like, well, my kid had the flu on Monday. I had the flu on Tuesday. And then yesterday we were just getting all back on track. That it needs to extend some grace to yourself, right? Like some things are out of our control. That's where true grace comes in without actually like lying to ourselves. Okay. Where did I use grace as an excuse to coast? That's where it's kind of like I've missed 3 workouts in a row and it's like, oh well, I got up late. Okay, and you're trying to give yourself credit. It's like, no, you needed to not hit snooze 3 times, Jordan. Like it's that type of thing. Like, okay, where did my excuse actually replace grace, and I used it wrong? And then where did I withhold grace from myself or others? You know, how did I react to a message that you got sent to me? How did I react in the DMs? All of these things. How did I react to one of my employees? What did I learn about my limits that will refine next week's rhythm? You guys have been getting a little taste of that the last month and a half as I've been putting these in the check-ins where I'm like, hey, like, what did you learn about October? Right? You guys saw that last week. What did you learn? I want to be thinking about that too on my week-to-week basis. Like, what were my limits? An example for me is like when I started really ramping up ads and things like that, and I'm in the DMs At first, it was like 10 messages in my DMs. I'm like, holy crap, I got 10 messages. This is a lot. And, a week went by and all of a sudden it was like, oh, I can ramp up my ad spend a little bit because 10 DMs is easy now. And then it was like, okay, now I can handle 20. And before you know it was like 100 in the same amount of time. So it's like our limits, when we recognize our limits, then we can refine the next week with a rhythm. Sometimes our limits get broken. Sometimes they get expanded. Okay. So pillar 2, presence over pressure. My daily micro practices on this, and I talked about this on the last coaching call, right? Like, let's take a second and breathe. I just touched on it for a second, and I'm going to do this in my little midday here. I'm actually going to do it. I already do this in the morning when I wake up, and I do it when I go to bed. But I'm going to add a little like second in like the middle of my day just to like get present for a moment. So I just breathe in for 5 seconds. I hold it for a second, and I breathe out for 5. If you guys go to like the National Heart Institute website, you'll see studies on this, on how this actually has been proven to like connect your mind heart coherence. It gets you present in your present moment. It connects you. And so they've done like studies on this. It's wild. The key is it could be 3 seconds to 5 seconds. Your exhale just needs to be longer than your inhale. Okay. So that's something I'm gonna be doing, holding and just feeling for a moment where I'm at. And with that, I'm gonna do an unproductive hour in the day. Like, I need this. I need to get off my phone. I need to not have an agenda. I need to not always be thinking about the next piece of content that I'm trying to create or teach on or whatever. Because you almost find yourself getting uncreative for me then. And so for you, it might be something else, right? But have some time. It doesn't have to be an hour, but have some time where you don't have an agenda. I think it's very important to get present with yourself. It goes right with that first piece. The weekly reflection prompts that I'm gonna be doing is, when did I feel fully present this week? Because if I can recognize those times when I did, they're easier to repeat the action. Where did anxiety or future tripping pull me off center? Well, the list is probably gonna be long some days, but that helps me get recognized and get fully present. In business, you have a bad month, right? It pulls into your next month of your future tripping now about income, about money, about, you know what I mean? Like, we've all had those things. So when we can get present, it can pull us back out of that future tripping of everything's going to be okay. It always has been. It's going to continue to be. What moment did I rush past that deserved moment of stillness? This is massive as well, because this happens all the time. When we have a moment that actually deserves our attention, it deserves our present thought, it deserves to have awareness brought into it. It's actually oftentimes something that we always wished for, that we've been desiring for, and we skip over it the moment it happens. So it might be you hit a goal of yours. Like, let's use Brennan as an example. Smashes his buck, and if you guys haven't seen my social today, we had our elite coaching call together at the end of October, setting our personal goals for November. Yeah. Him and I did, and one of them was like, I want to kill a big buck in November, and he did that. So it was like a huge moment. If he would have just like skipped over that and like got on present, like, that's a moment that deserves time. It deserves his present moment. It deserves just like soaking that moment in. What new idea of awareness came only through silence? I'm going to write that down, because oftentimes that is where all the good stuff happens. When we're silent, we take a moment to breathe. We actually can hear our thoughts. You can't hear your next assignment, guys, if your life's volume is always maxed out. So what's that mean for you? If you're always listening to music, if you always have podcasts on, if you're always watching TV, if you're always scrolling social media, totally guilty of all those things, because that stimulus never actually lets us hear ourselves and what's going on. And we actually use it as a way to bypass things that we need to face. Use it as a way to really just be avoidant, is the word I was looking for in my mind right there. We get to be avoidant in the reality that we need to be in. Okay. Pillar 3, control the trust. My daily micro practices here. I'm going to release thought. When a plan shifts, say aloud, trust the reroute. One of my employees I've working for me for the last couple months has been crushing it. Like, with me, I've really loved having him, and things just didn't work out randomly over the last several weeks, and I had to let him go. Total reroute I was not expecting for 2 of the biggest months of the year, November and December. He's my closer, so he takes all my sales calls for me. That's a lot of hours per week now that I have to go take. So for me, it took a moment of like, it's okay. I got to trust this. I need to reroute and not freak out. Delegate one task per day that you normally micromanage only on the outcome, not the execution. This is bringing, and I've talked about this in some past, bringing a lot of this teaching into, this. So if you've paid attention to some of these, you're going to bring this into light for yourself. But this is looking at your reality and dwelling on it for the future.
But if I have to.
Plug that in. So the word I'm looking for there is really what I've used with you guys is making your future self the reality of now. I've used the example of like, if you want to lose 100 pounds, you need to see yourself as that person 100 pounds lost already and act on that, on how that person would act. And so that is focusing only on outcome, not execution. Because so many times I think about execution so much. What do I need to do right now? What do I need to do? So for me, this is built for me, but yours might be very similar. My weekly reflection prompts are, what did I try to control that wasn't mine to carry? We can all relate with that. Probably more so than you think. What turned out better when I didn't oversteer it or just try to be a control freak, right? Many of us, that is the thing, and we need to let stuff go. Where did I trust multiple results faster than control ever would? Oftentimes, if we just trust the process, guys, so think about our weight loss. We're trying to control, like, do I need to change this? Do I need to change this? Sometimes we just need to buy into the process that we have laid out, execute on that process, and it will come. It will come. It will come. Okay. What person or process needs more faith and less friction from me next week? Sometimes this is just going to be yourself. Okay. You can't be a co-creator and a control freak at the same time. That takes trust, right? Last pillar that I'm acting on. And this is going to be huge for you guys too, because I talk about this. Living beyond average is the mantra, right? That's the mantra. So I'm going to redefine it, because in the past, I'm just going to skip all the way down here. When I was younger, when I came up with this mantra when I was 25, not 37,
That's often.
it meant 90. And I'm like, that's not even relatively close to where I'm at anymore. Now it means alignment, because the more I'm in alignment, to happen, to progress. So morning alignment question. What is who I am?
Downstairs, like back
I think we got somebody on mute here. Let me find it. Our room sharing screen.
You know, you can check it out. I know Ken's like,
Well, this is in the evening on it. So take a second, morning and night,
that was really annoying.
or your day 1 to 10.
Huh?
What I'm gonna do.
Ken's like, give me a moment. My head is currently pounding.
We need one person on mute here.
I can't.
If you could go on mute for just a second. At least it's coming through on my end. Is it coming through on his end too? Maybe it's just me.
No, it's not.
Okay.
No.
All right. Thanks. Sweet. Thank you. Okay. And then, so the morning, take a second, morning, night. Ask yourself, what's the action today that aligns with who I am? And what do I do with it? Okay. Same thing with the evening. See where you're at. These are just the honesty. These are just honesty moments with yourself. And then my weekly reflection is, did my actions this week reflect who I say I am? And that's another, it's just a moment of honesty. None of this takes much time. It's just moments of honesty. It doesn't mean sit and be guilty with yourself or beat yourself up over this. These are just honesty moments, guys. Did my actions reflect? No, they didn't. Okay, well, I already established what they need to be. Okay, cool. Go to that. Move on. You can't change the past. Where did I chase performance over purpose? Take a moment. Think about it. How did I celebrate? This is my big thing. If you watch my socials, I've been talking about always burn the bridge to the person I used to be, to the person I am today. How did I celebrate that? I think celebrating is a huge way to bridge the gap. You burn that bridge down, you can't go back. For me, every once in a while, I love to smoke a cigar out of my deck. I like to celebrate. That's my way. I smoke a little cigar out of my deck. I reflect on it. I celebrate. Like, it doesn't have to be a big thing. It could be literally like, I've been trying to put together 5 days in a row of workouts. I have been trying this for months and I finally did it. You need to go celebrate that. That might be just acknowledging it to your husband or your wife and being like, this is what I did. Or you're sending a message to me. Normally you don't send me a message, or you don't send me a video message and you send it to me and you celebrate with me and you allow me to celebrate with you. Where am I still negotiating with doubt or identity? You guys, successful people do not negotiate with doubt. They do not negotiate with who they are. It doesn't mean you don't have moments of doubt, but you're not going to negotiate with it. You're not going to give it any power. Believe it, who you are.
Like that.
Just believe it. Okay. This is just, I'm doing this stuff on Sunday. I just wrote this out of like a little breakdown of how my Sunday integration is going to happen and it's literally all the weekly prompts just get slid down to this. So it literally takes me this amount of time, which I'm already doing anyway, just without structure. And I'm like, I need a little structure in this. I'm going to sit for 5 minutes. I'm going to chill. Shouldn't get my mind right. I'm going to breathe like we talked about. I'm going to write about these weekly prompts. It's going to take me like 15 minutes. I'm just going to write down those ideas. I'm going to write down how I feel. I'm going to then take a second and write down what I learned this week. Because we can always learn this week. And I guarantee you learn every single week. And you're going to sit there with a pen and you're like, what did I learn this week? But if you just start writing and don't worry about sounding perfect, don't worry about thinking that this is going to be published on Facebook, don't think about anything. Just start writing and you'll be mind blown at what gets put on that paper. Just write it. I guarantee you, if you have not journaled in a while, or it's not something that you ever do, I want to challenge you to do that this week. Even if it's just doing this one question, what did I learn this week? And just write. Allow the pen just to start moving. And you're not even going to know how to start, but just start writing. Just, like, it can sound stupid, but it'll start to go. I guarantee it. I'm going to just sit there for a minute. What pattern kept showing up. And those are going to be the prompts. Like that is going to show up in the prompt for sure. Write one sentence that defines your weekly theme word. This is cheesy stuff, but sometimes you need it. Like if you had a continual thing that kept showing up in what pattern kept showing up, then you'll be able to easily come up with a word that comes up from the pattern. Right? So if it kept on being like, man, I keep on struggling with being consistent. Like I kept on like, why did I keep on pressing the damn snooze button? Consistency, honesty. Maybe you kept lying to yourself and you caught yourself lying to yourself and you're like, oh, dude, now that I'm finally like taking a moment, I'm catching myself lying to myself. Honesty. I need to be honest with myself. So just take those moments. Set one non-negotiable aligned action for the next week. It might be just scheduling your workouts, whatever that looks like for you. Okay. Your mastery now will come from how still you can remain while everything around you accelerates. Life happens massively fast. Change happens insanely fast. Stupid things that piss you off happen tremendously fast. But how fast can you go back to your baseline of emotion? How fast can you go back to that? Because the faster you get back to that, the less thrown off track every day you are. But oftentimes we get so caught up in our dwelling of something that happened that week during the day that it eats up a whole week. And we just waste a whole week over something stupid, and I've done it so many times. And so that's where I was like, man, as I was putting all this together, I really tried just to develop that around where my psyche was, where I was at. And one of the hacks that you guys can do to help you build something like this out, because obviously this is based around me, but I know it's an example for you. One of the hacks that I do is I'll do it like I do a lot of journaling in my phone. But you can also, if you journal in like an actual physical journal, which is even better than the phone, but I'll like walk and talk, I'll like voice record into my notes so I can just walk and get my thoughts down. You can literally take those thoughts and you can prompt them into ChatGPT. And you can literally just create a folder in ChatGPT and be like, my thoughts. And you can literally keep everything logged there. And then at the end of the month, you can literally just go to ChatGPT and you'd be like, hey, can you analyze all of my journal inputs that I did? And can you break down like your analyze it and break down like thoughts about me or my strengths or however you want to word it. And it'll literally break down like everything that you talked about It'll break it all down, and it'll actually can provide you some actionable steps. Some of them are going to align, some of them are going to be like, oh, that's stupid. I mean, it's still just a computer. But it can help organize, where sometimes to organize a month's worth of writing can be difficult. Let a computer analyze it for you, and then it'll bring up some bullet points for you. You can then take it and you can break it down into actual steps for yourself. Some of the things are going to align. That's where your own discernment comes in. That's why you have your own spirit. You're going to feel what's right. Trust it. So that's a way that you can do that. Or you can just take a picture of it, of your journal, and you can literally just upload it. It's super simple, and it can give you a really good analyzation of a whole month's worth of data. And then you can literally just create your own personal mastery audit. If you want help with that, let me know and I can help you out. It's not complicated whatsoever. But it is a way that you can organize some things. So that's really just the example I wanted to share with you guys tonight of just how I'm working at my own personal development. And I'm hoping that you can take it and you make it your own. Make it a way that works in your minds, because everybody's perception, everybody's mind is different in here. And so if you need help with that, just let me know. Is there any questions I can help with before we log off? Anybody got anything? If you don't, cool. Cool. All right. Well, I hope this was tangible. I know a lot of times we're flowing. This was obviously more tangible stuff to take with you tonight. So I'm going to work on, would it be helpful to have like a PDF form? No, yes, on something like this where you can take and try to make it on, okay, Marie says yes in the chat. Harold's giving me a thumbs up. Okay, sweet. 2 of you. Okay, I'm not sending it over. Sorry, guys. Just kidding, Jackie. Give me a thumbs up. Richard's going hard. All right. I'll put together like a PDF of some sort that at least you guys can use it. And you could even like print it off and write on it until you get your own breakdown in your journal or something. I just want to have a tool, actually like accessible tools for you guys. So, all right. If that's everything, if nobody's got any questions or comments, I will let you guys go. Thank you so much for being my clients. Thank you so much for being active on here and logging on, giving 30 minutes to yourself. 30 minutes. Yes.
Yeah, I just had one question, just because I'm actually, I just learned about this GTP, or I think that's what you called it, right? I mean, literally, I don't know much about that kind of stuff, but yeah. I am interested in what it can do. And a lot of it I'm learning more about because of this new data center that's coming into Fargo here.
Yeah.
I don't understand about data, and I don't understand really what all that is about, but it's obviously a huge load for us. But I am interested in what you're talking about here and being able to bring it together and get feedback to continue to develop, I guess.
Yeah, cool. Absolutely. Cool. Why don't we connect and I can kind of show you some really basic.
Okay. Yeah, I probably could just use a good description of what this GTP really does. I mean,
it can do a million things. That's the thing. It can be as simple as you like a Google source for you, or it can literally be your assistant. Okay. That's how diverse it is, really. And so it's pretty crazy. So it's definitely a tool that, if you can use it, and learn how to use it properly, it'd be a really cool tool to help you get information and data, and then have it break stuff down for you and save you a lot of time. That's what I really in my daily. So
okay. I was talking to my son a little bit about it just the other day, and he was talking about how they use it to put weightlifting programs together and build things at the college there where he works at in Georgia. And it's interesting what it's doing for people.
It's crazy. I know, it's crazy. So, all right. Anything else, guys? Good. All right. Hey, I appreciate you guys. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week. Let's crush it. And I'll be dropping in the 2-week check-in form this Sunday. Also, if I'm slow on replies, I'm going to be out hunting Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then I'm in Bismarck working on Tuesday. Obviously, message me and just know that I might be a little bit slow to reply on those days where I'm sitting out, freezing out on the hillside. So, but I'll be there for you guys. So I'll talk to you guys soon. What's up, Richard?
Good. Happy hunting.
Yes, man. It's my last hunt of the year. I get to go out and enjoy. So I'm gonna go out and not feel guilty this weekend is my goal, Richard.
There you go.
Awesome. All right.
Good luck, brother.
Thank
Good
you.
luck. Yes.
Good going, y'all.
Bye.
Night.
Night.